My job takes me around the world. Greece, Italy, incredible places. But the experience I'm about to describe, it didn't happen somewhere exotic. It happened in a quiet mountain cabin in upstate New York. The Adirondacks in autumn look like something out of a fairy tale. The leaves turn gold and red, the mountains glow. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I booked a secluded cabin through Airbnb, nestled in the trees, a private back deck overlooking the mountainside, trails for morning jogs, exactly what I needed. What I didn't need was the feeling that I was being watched. From the moment I arrived, something felt wrong. During my morning jog, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. Every shadow between the trees made my chest tighten. I told myself it was anxiety. I'm a city person. Of course the wilderness feels strange. I told myself that over and over again. The weird noises inside the cabin. Just the wood settling, I said. The shadow that seemed to move across the hallway. Just the light, I said. That night, after midnight, I couldn't sleep. I decided to go downstairs for a cigarette. I grabbed my coat, my phone, and headed down the stairs. The stairs opened into the living room. To the left, the kitchen and dining room. The sliding door at the back led to the deck. I took one step into the dark room, and I stopped. There was a shadow in the kitchen. Something was blocking the moonlight coming through the window. I turned on the light. Standing in my kitchen was a man, tall, long, shaggy hair, a thick beard, late 30s, hunched forward, just staring at me. Neither of us moved for what felt like an eternity, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 15. It felt like hours. Then he lunged. I sprinted upstairs, slammed the bedroom door, locked it, shoved myself into the closet, and called 911. The dispatcher stayed on the line, calm, steady, a voice in the dark. And then came the banging. He was slamming his fists against the bedroom door. Each strike shook the frame, and between the strikes, he was talking. He kept saying that he loved me, that he had changed, that he needed me back. I had never seen this man before in my life. I screamed that he had the wrong woman. He couldn't hear me, or maybe he didn't want to. He just kept pounding. I could see his fist beginning to break through the wood of the door, and then I heard sirens. The police tackled him to the ground just as his entire arm reached through the door. I jumped from the bedroom window onto a small roof below and flagged an officer down from above. When they told me the truth, my blood ran cold. That man was the ex-fiancé of the woman who owned the cabin. He'd gone off the grid after a bad breakup. He hadn't broken in that night. He had been living in one of the closets for several days. Beer cans, snack food, all hidden in the dark, waiting. They also found a kitchen knife tucked into his belt. I checked every lock 3 times before I went to bed that night. It didn't matter. He was already inside.
I want to start by saying, I'm not easily scared. What I'm about to tell you, I didn't think much of it at the time. It's only now, looking back, that I realize how close things may have come to going very wrong. I was staying at an Airbnb the night before a job interview. A comfortable house. Nice neighborhood. The owner had given me the door code ahead of time, told me to make myself at home. I had a good interview, grabbed some food, and settled in for the night. Big couch, fireplace, surround sound. I put on a movie and drifted off. At 11:33 p.m., the doorbell rang. Pause. I looked through the front window. A thin man, head down, holding a small brown paper bag. I opened the door but kept the screen door locked between us. The light was dim. He never looked up. In a flat, dead voice, he said he had my pizza delivery. That was not a pizza box. I told him he had the wrong address. He rang again. And again. Each time the same monotone voice. He had my pizza. The third time, he recited the exact address of the house. Pause. Slower now. While I was telling him to leave. I watched his hand reach for the screen door handle. I slammed the door, threatened to call the police. Peeked out the window and watched him walk back to a beat-up red sedan. One headlight broken. He got in the car, but he didn't leave. For over an hour that car sat in the driveway. Engine running. One bright headlight cutting through the window. I went upstairs for a better view. From the bedroom window I could see the car, but not the driver. The light was too bright. So I went outside, marched down to the car. Nobody was there. Pause. Long beat. The engine was still running. I ran back inside, locked both locks, went upstairs and watched from the bedroom window until eventually I saw the man climb back into the car, appearing from the direction of the front door, and drive away. I didn't sleep. At 4 a.m, I packed my things and headed for the door. Whisper. The front door was unlocked and open, held only by the chain I had locked from the inside. On the front porch, the brown paper bag still sitting there. I drove away without opening it. At the end of the street, a green house. In the driveway, a red car, one broken headlight. That Airbnb listing no longer exists. The owner never replied. Serious, heavy, measured tone throughout. I need you to understand something before I begin. Monsters are real, not demons, not ghosts. People. Real people who mean you harm. My family still hasn't fully healed from what happened last summer. I'm not sure they ever will. Pause. We took a small family vacation to the coast. My wife, myself, my 8-year-old son, and my 13-year-old daughter. We found an Airbnb just 5 minutes from the beach. Cheaper than a hotel, backed up against a creek. Private, quiet, perfect. The first day was beautiful. My kids played together like they actually liked each other. That almost never happens. That night after dinner and card games, everyone went to bed happy. The next morning my son came to breakfast looking like he hadn't slept at all. He wouldn't eat, he wouldn't talk. After some gentle prying, he finally told us. He said he saw ghosts in the backyard. Pause. Shadows moving through the yard, coming up to the house, disappearing, then retreating back to the tree line by the creek. One of them had turned and waved at him. He was in tears telling us. We gave him the usual reassurances. Ghosts aren't real. You're safe. You were dreaming. He seemed to believe us. 2 nights later, he woke us up at midnight, trembling so hard he could barely speak. Very slowly, he told us one of the ghosts had tapped on his bedroom window, and it spoke to him. It told him if he screamed, it would hurt his entire family. Pause. Breathe. My son didn't scream. He came and woke us instead. The next night, we all slept together in the living room. I made it into an adventure, a family fort, a sleepover. I wanted to be there with him. I wanted to see what he was seeing. At 2:30 in the morning, my son shook me awake. I looked at the sliding door. Pause. 3 figures, hooded, dressed entirely in black, wearing masks, dark, molded faces with large, bulging white eyes, like golf balls, staring in at us. My wife and daughter screamed. My son pressed against me, frozen. One of them was trying to open the sliding door. My daughter called 911. I grabbed a walking stick from the corner of the room and placed myself between my family and the door. I knew it was useless against real weapons. But when your children are screaming behind you, you don't think, you act. The figure on the left produced a knife and began waving it slowly back and forth, like a performance, like they were enjoying every second of this. I will never forget the sound of my family's screams. Pause. And then, a police officer came out of nowhere and tackled the figure furthest from the door. The other 2 ran. They didn't get far. When the masks came off, They were just young men, normal looking, 20 years old, 18 years old. Nobody I recognized. Nobody remarkable. All three had knives. The police told us this was not unusual. There was a group in that area that specifically targeted tourist families. They assumed families on vacation carry cash. They assumed children make adults easier to control. The officers didn't seem particularly surprised. That bothered me more than anything. Slowly. Final words. The police believed they only wanted our money, that they wouldn't have physically hurt us. But nobody knows what would have happened if that sliding door had opened. My son still sleeps with the light on. My daughter no longer travels. My wife hasn't spoken about that trip since we came home. Sometimes the wounds that don't show are the ones that never fully heal. We will never return to that beach town, not for the rest of our lives.